Hello and welcome to Dario's Comic School, and today we will take a look at WalterSimonson's or ArchieGoodwin and WalterSimonson and Alien the Illustrated Story. So why is this so important? While I was drawing, I don't know which year it was, 2017, 2019, I was drawing a comic for the Buff Dudes. It was called Cargies. Check out up here or down in the link how I drew this, and maybe I come back to this again. I was looking, as you can see, these are heroes, working heroes in space. So I came across this story called Alien by Walter Simonson, and I was pretty intrigued by Walter Simonson and by the Alien story. And I think I saw this on Cartoonist Kayfabe. So I looked at it and I thought, man, I gotta have it. So we'll take a look at this comic. And the following days, we will take a look at Alien's Salvation by Mike Mignola. And we will take a bit of a look at how Mike Mignola works. And the important part, bear with me, the important part with Mike Mignola is that although, as you can see, this looks pretty minimalistic, it does look like a movie. And the same thing we have going on here too. And as you can see, like pretty, I would say simplistic or bare bones or reduced artwork, but it's still, this looks like a movie poster, and that is something you can implement into your own work to make it a bit more economic, but still make it look like a big budget movie. I mean, this looks like a big budget movie, and I think most or some comics should look like that. So that is why I'm sharing this with you. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, comment. It will help out the channel to people finding it. And before we start, I will show you what I told you this week. Mike Mignola, Alien Salvation. Then for Brandon, I will do my inked pages. I will put out every page that I ever inked, from the splash pages to the small pages, so you can see inked artwork. It might help you. That time I made a card game. I will show you how I made a card game. Andrew Loomis we will look at, because as we will take a look at here, there is a lot of poses, heads. I mean, we need anatomy all the time, but it's not really anatomy what we need. It's, well, probably sometimes it is. But it's also like constructing great figures and shapes, and we'll come to that. I mean, I saw a bunch of great hands. Look at this, like great hands, the body distorted, body language, this guy, but we'll see in a second. Then painting comics, simple, easy for maximum effect. And what I will show you here is like this comic, I think, was painted by Walter Simonson and his wife, Louise Simonson, and I think it's watercolor style, or I don't know how they did it, but I assume it was watercolor. But Mike Mignola, the style he uses, or let's say like Dave Stewart or whoever did it like this, as you can see, like this style, we have like the streets, something flashes, and it's pretty minimalistic. Like here, Wolverine gets injured and the whole panel is red. Like that's movie lighting somehow, or as you can see here. Yeah, it's very, very cinema-esque how they use colors. And in Instagram, usually I find something like, check out this movie scene, and then you will see the colors. And same goes here, not a million colors, just a red, a yellow, a brighter yellow. And as you can see, I'm using some similar color styles in my comic, but my comics are very, very I don't know how you want to call them, but as you can see, they're very bright and very pulpy, I would call them. But yeah, let's get into the review. Again, then we have like the Mike Mignola coloring or the Marvel style coloring. We have Mike Mignola Aliens, the camera angles, which makes your movies look very cinematic. And now we're at WalterSimonson's Aliens. So, sorry for the long introduction, but let's get into the review. So, it's Alien, the illustrated story, and we get a word from Alien. The illustrated story might just be the only successful movie adaptation ever done in comics. It's amazing. It's an amazing graphic novel, Frank Miller. It's not super thick, but it's a great album. You have your comic style format, as you can see. Like, if you can see, this is a typical US comic format. And I think that this is my webcomic. This is A4, if I'm not mistaken. And the Walt Simonson comic is almost A4. So it has a bigger format. Maybe you can call it European album style. And that's good because it gives us a lot of space in here. So let's give it a bit of more light. So Alien. Great introduction here. And this is really great. Like this, in the comic school or in Dario's comic school, we take a look at comics and I review them because when I was in movie school, there is something that you cannot learn from anatomy books or storybooks. You have to absorb the material. You have to be inspired. You have to. The theory cannot give you a pump, but if you look at this, I mean, like this gives you like, oh my God, what is this? I want to do this. I want to implement this in my comics, and so you're kind of hyped. You're pumped. You're inspired to steal or to copy or to do something like this. And that is very important, like the ability to learn. And as you can see, I will show you, I learned a lot. I stole a bit from this comic and it helped me grow as an artist. And I think that's okay. I mean, nothing can just exist in nowhere. Everything depends on everything. And I think Walter Simonson was looking, either he was constructing it through layouts, through the knowledge of anatomy or vanishing points and structuring things in the room, or he was looking at the movie because he needed to get the faces right for each character. So the movie, the comic starts out here with us. Let me see, can I zoom out a bit? Just a tiny bit. And I think they're all in cryosleep, and then something starts beeping. And we get here this great alien introduction, and then just the ship. And so they wake up from this cryosleep, and as you can see, check this out, how many panels this is. I'll pull it up. Like, this is how many panels. Should I put something under my stands? No, we'll manage it this way. So what I like about Walt Simonson, he doesn't complicate, but he gets the essentials. And essentials is like a black panel we see from above. Then we see this cryo chambers, and then we kind of get there. And what he does get right is the simple shapes, like just this cryo coffins, this thingy, whatever it is, but it gives us the room. So if you take something from this, take that he, as you can see, not an overcomplicated rendering, but he gets the basic shapes right. And then another thing, a story beat, this guy sleeping, we just see his eyes like sleeping, slowly opening the eyes, kind of being sleepy and then full awake, and then he gets up. And also like the action, we don't see him climb out, we already see this guy. Sorry, I cannot zoom in further, I'm getting like, it is he's already left the chamber. He's putting on his jacket. I mean, like, this is pretty cool. Like, it's in motion. Like, time has passed. While we read this, it's already in motion. And then we see a coffee maker, something that grounds us to the now, to the reality. He makes a bunch of coffees, he puts them in, and then he says, "Rise and shine, everyone." Like, we are in space, but we're also very grounded in reality. As soon as they're awake, the guys who do the grunt work complain that they're gonna get too little money and they want to recontract. I don't know what it is, but yeah, you get introduced to the characters pretty quickly. Ship's navigator, the captain's Dallas, the science officer, and as you can see, they create room, like camera angles all along, guiding the eye. We come from here, we go up here, we go down here, back, we come up here, we go down here, and again to the foreground. So when you're trying to make a comic, always try to create space and a camera angle. As you can see, we're going this way, we're going this way to the back, we're going this way to the back, we're going from here to here, and here also they're sitting with a cat, and we have a bunch of people in the background, in the foreground, things happening. And as you can see, something like this, like the ship's interior, you can say I stole it, or I was inspired to do something similar. I took inspiration from it because my guy wakes up and searches the ship for alien life form, and I took it a bit from, it was in the script I had to draw, but it was also like from Cowboy Bebop. And as you can see, he tries to search the ship. I think this device is from Cowboy Bebop, so he's looking up the things. He goes down the ladder. He has a flamer, which I took from Warhammer Fantasy, and then he opens this hatch, and I will show you that the hatch was inspired by this bit. But definitely, like, it's, even though I might steal or copy some things or quote them, and this fridge is from Cowboy Bebop, it's still my own style, the story I had to draw. And this was like stolen or inspired by StarCraft 1, where they have the cold fusion generator or the atomic bomb with tons of ice and beer besides it. And I added tomato ketchup and some celery to it. So you try always, you take something, but you add also something from yourself. And so we are in space. Here's the hatch. Oh, here's the hatch. I kinda, can you see this? Like, this is the hatch I kinda took. I changed it up a little bit, but kinda same. And you have to, like, excuse me. It was like while I was coming up with stuff, and this is back from 2000, I don't know, 16, 17. So I was starting out. Maybe I would do things differently today, but when you get going, it's okay to play the cover band or to be a copycat of somebody else, and then to find your own voice and your own style once you get it. As you can see here, the hand with a letter, I kind of copied that too, or took something like this too, and it's okay. I mean, check out your comics, take what you need, make your story work. It's the way great directors became big. It's the way comic artists became big musicians. Like, everybody does it. I think it's necessary to copy and to get good. So the story follows pretty much like, it's a while that I haven't seen Alien 1. But the cool thing is that like, Ripley looks similar to Ripley, but not exactly. But it's definitely a feat to lay this all out and enjoy it in a way. And good thing also that the characters look very differently. You have the science officer, this Ash. He has different clothes, different style, You have the grunts, they look like blue-collar workers. The captain has a beard, and yeah, always creating room, foreground, midground, background, foreground, midground, background. And so they land on the ship, and they get a signal, something stopped them. As you can see, this is also a thing I wanted to say. Sometimes you have to consume like movies or different comics, because like this is a very Walt Simonson thing, and I don't know if he got it from Kirby or something like this, but if you like the visual language, it starts to influence you and you start to implement it in your comic. Now I show you my comic, and you don't find any of these strange circles in this comic, because I kind of liked it, but I didn't like it in my stuff. So when my guy is kind of, oh my god, what's happening? Instead, I show a yellow, his face turns kind of yellow, like spooked out. As you can see, like very dilated pupils and different stuff. So you take what you need and you leave what you don't need. And also another tip, when you draw, like this is an album format, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A lot of space in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like if you had a smaller format of comic, I think it wouldn't be possible. Like it's just a bit smaller. You have to work a bit differently. So also beautiful, like the ship in the orbit. That's not so great. Here simple shapes, as long as you stick to your simple shapes. Here some kind of combustion, they talk a bit, and then this is beautiful, like the ship gets released, and here it's still on the mothership, and then here it kind of falls towards the planet, and here's some smaller panels. And wait, I want to show you the big splash page that's coming up. So they try to land on this planet, they get a distress beacon from it, and some repairing action on the ship because it caught some fire, it got into some turbulence. Here we go down, they now try to check out this planet, and some definitely beautiful drawings, beautiful ink, beautiful layouts that are created here. And then, as you can see, like very simple sometimes complex, but always each panels brings the story forward. And then we get here to this beautiful place where they show up and they say, Jesus Christ. And now they're at the side of this huge ship, and down here we have this astronauts, and this is a beautiful splash page. Believe me, when you have it in your hand, like it's very simple, especially here. It reminds me a bit of Frank Miller and stuff, but the colors work, the epicness is really clear. And if you want to do it even more, like you could like, this is very bare bones. The detail is okay, but not super high. I think he didn't want to kill himself drawing this, but you could make it even more impressive. Like I have something similar in my ending shot where the ship comes closer to something massive, and it doesn't look as great as you think it is. But once the ship gets in, you start understanding the shape of how big things are. And yeah, sometimes it's good to put a lot of details in it, so it's worthwhile. And yeah, beautiful coloring, very moody. As you can see, some color gets introduced. They go down the hatch or up the hatch, and I would say the storytelling as simple as possible, and then beautiful ink work, like really a lot of work put into this, some beautiful shots, and yeah, here, this is a great shot where you really are grasping the size of what's going on, where these people are going. And again here, beautifully inked. Once something is beautifully layouted and inked, check how many panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then I think it's best complemented by some simple coloring, like just greens, yellow, a red. As you can see, almost the pages are almost color coded. I know Dave Stewart does it, and here it is like wonder, like maybe yellow, and then some violence or action, red. Or here they're just communicating, so it's probably just this purple and blue. And yeah, this is the hatch. I kind of, well, somebody gets infected by an alien, and as you can see, in this comic I took a lot of inspiration from a lot of sources. I came up myself with a lot of stuff, but there's also some gimmicky stuff, like here Catch, and then he gets the keys with a Millennium Falcon. But this hatch, as you can see, I was kind of intrigued. I thought maybe he needs to enter some hatch, and as you can see, I didn't stole it like completely, but the idea I took from it, and I don't want to say I improved on it, but I made it different. Like, as you can see, mine is just a silhouette. Here you see this space, then here it's like purple, then it gets lighter, and then we see the lights from the outside shining in, and he enters this room. So it's definitely okay to be inspired, to take things, and yeah. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but yeah, it's a pretty cool comic book. There's some beautiful artwork. I don't know if you like this Ridley or if you don't, or if you like these faces, but it resonates with me. It has some looseness and some power, as you can see, like here the acid from the alien on the floor, and then the horror begins. And sometimes when great action ensues, like the ship lifts itself from the planet, like big panels break that up, and I love that. Like, you can also take some storytelling elements from this and skip the violent stuff, and then they try to hunt down the alien that got away, and the alien starts killing the whole crew, and stuff like this is also beautiful. Like, here you have a black panel, then a beat, a panel, a beat, and the captain searching for an alien. I don't know really what this is, the panel, but yeah, a lot of interior, cool story where it needs to be. Overall, I feel it's a cool comic. I like the artwork. It's not super dramatic or super cool, but definitely, like, check out these hands. If you wanna, definitely you need to understand a bit of anatomy, but sometimes it's also cool to copy stuff and get the thing going. First you copy, then you learn how to make faces and all of that stuff. By drawing this, you would understand a bit how to draw the faces, but then the next step would to learn the underlying structure, and yeah, cool story beats. And I don't want to spoil the ending, but you know it. So a bit of a strange video with a long introduction, not really a review of the comic, but somewhere in between. Definitely I wanted to put out a video. I have seen there are a bunch of other videos like this, but I wanted to cover this in Dario's comic school. So if you're looking for some WalterSimonson, some Alien, there's definitely some value in this comic. Some beautiful hands, some beautiful coloring, some beautiful mood, and a lot to learn from this one. See us to the next video.